Welcome back, everyone. It is Thursday, August 13th. It's Rod with POW Group, and thanks for joining us again on the pursuit of wealth. Like the video, if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. It shows me support and helps me realize how many people that I'm able to help as well. And consider checking out our website at powgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com and find out how you can take advantage of a 1-week free trial in the community today. And if you do like what you see, if you want to stick around, it's only $4.99 a month. So diving right into it, guys. First on the agenda, I want to highlight the volume on HEXO. So again, I went into a more in-depth video on HEXO earlier on. You can check out the video from this afternoon. And absolute monstrous volume. If we look at the average daily volume on HEXO, it's usually at 7.7 million. And today we hit 50 million on the US side. That's absolutely crazy, and that was traded in this ticker just today, and the average was 7. So absolutely monstrous day for HEXO, and that's not even taking into account on the Canadian side. So if we look at this, that's six and a half times what the average volume is. So absolutely crazy. Obviously, there was some at the market offering shares that they priced at, I think was $1.02. On the Canadian side. So that definitely is not what we want to see. We don't want to see the company diluting, but the reason for the 15%, 13% at the close was due to the drinks hitting the SQDC, in my opinion. And we've seen absolute monstrous volume. And a couple of months ago, we've seen huge volume on HEXO as well. It was the the most monthly volume on the US and the Canadian exchange, so the NYSE and the Toronto Stock Exchange. And I think better days are ahead for HEXO. It's just, will that dilution continue to come back and haunt investors, right? That's the thing that most people are worried about. They have a lot of debt coming due soon. So again, that's enough about HEXO for the moment. You can check out that video earlier on today if you want to find out more. So moving on, I want to bring up so we talk about this a lot in the community. And again, the benefits of having a community is you can bounce ideas off of other people. And I see a lot of people that, that are on YouTube that just don't really fully know what's happening. So when you can bounce ideas off one another in a community, and we post trade setups, trade reviews, we do daily market videos and private videos for members. And a lot of other memberships will cost anywhere from $100 to $200 to $500 a month. And this will only cost you $4.99 a month. And you can join us for a 1-week free trial if that interests you. So I've highlighted it before many times. So with these pullbacks that we see SPY pulled back earlier on today towards the end of the day again. And it was a double top that we noticed at the 338.28 level. So came within less than $1 again from the all-time high. We consolidated and we double topped and immediately rejected from there. And the clue that was going to happen was the chart. So all the major sectors were doing this at the exact same time. So I'm just hiding my face here so that you can see this. But here's SPY. So SPY at that time of the day, we saw 1450, it dropped. That's the bottom here, the horizontal line that I drew at 1450. If we look over here at 1450, QQQ doing very much the same thing. XLV held up a little bit better, didn't break the low of the day. It was holding up quite well. But you get the idea, all the sectors were pulling back. But what we want to see is all sectors lose the low of the day, which wasn't the case here. So that was something that had me expecting that it wasn't going to be a huge drop, a huge fast drop. And then if we look at XLF held up a little bit better. So in my opinion, I think that rotation went from QQQ into the likes of XLF and XLV. We had XBI, which held up a little bit better as well. And XLE, the energy sector, hit a new low of the day and is struggling a bit. So oil saw some weakness today as well. But we'll get to that in just a second. The gold chart was pulling back. 1450, we saw it pull back. So again, these are all major asset classes pulling back at the same time. 1450, same thing. IWM, 1450, hit a new low. US oil was pretty much weak all day, even though SPY was climbing, so that inverse correlation was there. But again, once oil started to go down, that's when a lot followed. SMH, same thing, semiconductors. So you can you can Google these if you're not sure, guys, but essentially they're just ETFs that track a specific sector. So semiconductors, financials, healthcare, technology, you name it. S&P 500, the top 500 companies. So BTC, so if we look back to Bitcoin around that time, again, Bitcoin was pulling back as well. So all major asset classes were pulling back at the same time. That told me to be cautious. And then I was looking for the double top as well here from the high of the day. So if we look, the bulls were in full control. They consolidated, went to form a bit of a cup and handle. But what happened was they formed that double top on, doesn't really matter which chart which time frame you were looking at. I was looking at the hourly at the time. We have an inside bar on the daily on watch. So if we look into the hourly, we can see here that we're just chopping around, right? So we seen that sell off a couple of days ago and everybody thought that was our top. And then we see a new high from the COVID dump, and then we double top. So this could be a potential level that a lot of people are speculating on, and until we close above that level, in my opinion, I'm reluctant to go long here on anything. So it's hard to know what to do right now because everybody's being chopped around. And how do you get into individual names when the overall market is going to pull back? So it's just something. Don't get complacent. Volume's dropping off. It's the summer, so it's something that we want to make sure that we're not falling asleep on, and it's constantly in the back of our minds because it could happen. These sell-offs can happen fast, like steady move up and elevator down. That's always the case, rinse and repeat, right? So anybody who's been investing or trading for any amount of time, I mean, I've been investing now for 10 years, and I've seen just about everything. Nothing surprises me anymore. And that's why I recommend that you check out our community, and I can share with you my mistakes and my successes, and you can trade with a community of people, whether you're a part-time trader or a full-time trader, and we can bounce ideas off of each other. We can share, the more eyes you have on the market, the better. So again, check out powgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com. We have a 7-day free trial. What's the worst that could happen? Check out the 7-day free trial, and that's enough I'm going to say about that. So moving on from there, Tesla, again, we saw a little bit of a pullback with the overall market toward the end of the day and a nice recovery. Tesla is still seeing a lot of momentum from the news, obviously, from the 5-to-1 share split. So we did form, obviously, a double top there as well. I didn't even notice that. But so we have a double top on Tesla here as well, and by $1. So and we pulled back. So when should you buy shares of Tesla? Obviously, you want to get it before the cutoff, but if you want to get in on Tesla, I'm personally waiting. I think there's going to be a better buying opportunity. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you might end up having to buy it higher, but I definitely want to own more shares of Tesla before the 5-to-1 share split. But I don't think that we're in the clear yet. I think that we'll get a better buying opportunity very soon, and definitely a little concerned that SPY's topping out on these levels. QQQ was heading up to all-time highs and saw a significant pullback and some rotation, so that definitely has me cautious as well. So here we have HEXO. I did want to highlight a couple of things that I didn't highlight earlier. So obviously the volume is huge today, and so we'll just take a look here. So again, the average volume was 7, and today we hit 51. So that's including after hours as well. So that is absolutely huge, huge volume. And if we zoom in here to the hourly, we can get a little bit of an indication of when this move was going to happen. So if we look back, sorry, the daily. If we look at the daily, we can get an indication of when this move was going to happen. So we had an inside bar, bull break of 71.90, so 71 cents, essentially 72 cents. and then it was just rocket ship to the moon after that. So if you were playing off of the low or the high of that inside bar bull break, not every time that it breaks bull is there going to be news obviously behind it, but this was one of those cases where people saw that drinks were available on the SQDC, and immediately social media blew up and the share price blew up along with it. So HEXO definitely saw some significant follow through. And if we zoom into the hourly, we can see here, I actually entered a position at 69 cents back here on this consolidation. And I was I went to a dispensary in my area in Edmonton, and I spoke to the manager there, and they said that they expect to have drinks from HEXO in with the next week or two. So I sort of knew that it was probably coming soon. And I did share that in the community a few times, but obviously, you know, you can't reach everybody. So there's going to be a lot of people that didn't know, right? So once it's on there, and people are see it to believe it type of thing. So once they saw it, that's when we saw the euphoria and the huge move up. So from the low of the day or from pre-market, we were up 18%, and we pulled back and we started to form an equilibrium. So when I was looking for another entry, I had the 82 cents. So we had resistance at 82 cents, and we had a resistance at 85, 86. So we got right in between those essentially, and we started to pull back. So I was looking at the 82 level. So I exited my 69% position that I entered a couple of days ago. And then I sold that position and doubled down at the 77-cent level. And if you take a look at HEXO's 50-day moving average, it was 77 cents. So I entered in off a play of 77-cent support, expecting a bounce off the 50-day, and there hasn't even been an official press release for HEXO yet. So that definitely, you know, gave me confidence to enter long the stock for a swing or a potential flip, depending on whether or not we saw. So I was banking on seeing some mainstream media headlines, but we didn't get any, which is fine. So I swung a small position, but I re-entered on, so I sold that first position from a couple of days ago when I saw that we hit 83. So I sold at 82 to take, I actually sold half at 80 cents, and then it was half at 82. And then we hit 83 and we started to pull back significantly. And I was watching the 15-minute time frame. So I entered off, so we had the EMA 12 support. I entered off the 77-cent level as well as the 50-day moving average. So again, that's two check box in my books. So I'm playing off that, stop below 77. That was my game plan the whole time. And then we nailed that. And I was expecting, based on the size of the move, I was expecting an equilibrium type action, right? So we could have saw a bull flag and then higher. We could have saw a move up and then straight down and puke everything back up. Or we could have saw a little bit more of a pullback and an even more bigger equilibrium. But I knew with the EMA 12 support, I knew that there was still no press release out. So that was number two. And I knew to be looking for an equilibrium. So I was confident, and the 50-day moving average was 77 cents as well. So I was confident entering off that level, and I sold half of that position once we got back up over 80 cents, and I'm still holding half of that position as well, swinging it. I was prepared to sell if we lost this level at the end of the day, and we didn't. So I decided to hold it. The bulls closed near the high of the day, so they definitely proved themselves. We saw some increasing bull volume, and the bear volume wasn't that strong to end the day. So swinging a little bit of HEXO, obviously hoping that we see a little bit more mainstream coverage regarding this, but who knows? All I know is I had enough cushion from the gains that I had made that I was able to swing a position overnight as well. So moving on to, I'll highlight Bitcoin here really quickly. So Bitcoin, we are seeing some strong moves after hours. We're still looking for a daily high or low. We could potentially be setting a lower high. So just keep that in mind. We'll zoom into the hourly trend. So low, high, higher, low, higher, high, we've changed the hourly trend. So it's quite possible that Bitcoin has set its daily higher low. So now we'll look for a potential daily lower high, but bulls still in full control. Bulls really need to kind of show up ASAP if they want Bitcoin to, like, we have obviously a lot of resistance in the 12K level. We've been over there a couple of times and immediately pulled back by $700-800. So if they want to build any momentum, they're going to have to start showing up very soon. So definitely not sleeping on Bitcoin. All right, that's going to do it for me today, guys. So again, subscribe to the channel if you like the content, like the video. It shows me some support and gives me motivation to keep going. And leave a comment below if there's any stocks or tickers that you're watching that you want covered. And consider checking out our website at powergroup.ca, and you can check out the 1 week free trial. Come see if it's fit for you. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.